Hi, I'm Mike Sidlowski. I'm with Live Oak Landscape Contractors. I'm a licensed landscape architect in the state of New Jersey, and we're here with John Barinello. Hi, John.
How you doing?
Our chief designer for Live Oak. We're going to go over one segment of our design process called preliminary budget, but let me just get you up to speed. So far, we've discussed in some previous videos how to engage our company with a preliminary design and budgeting agreement. In addition to that, we talked about our site analysis. We also spoke about our preliminary design. And now, probably one of the most important aspects of working with our company is that we are a design build company, which means that we have the ability to build a project for you with our own masons, our own team, our own pool guys, things like that. So in that sense, we have great control over the project. But one of the ways our clients have great control over the project is with the preliminary budget. So, John, why don't you take us through that real quick?
Yeah, you said it. This is one of the most useful tools throughout our whole process. And obviously, you can see here we have a design. So the reason I just want to show you a quick design, let's just say that our client has selected this particular design as one of the final designs. What we then do is we take each piece of this particular project. So maybe this main patio would then find its way onto this budgeting sheet, the preliminary budget. But then the fire pit, the seat wall, maybe the rear plantings, the front plantings, what we do is we break each project down into its own project. And then we put it on a very, very simple sheet to follow called the preliminary budget. And it takes all those projects and sort of puts it into a menu format, which is very easy to see and understand. It's like, okay, main patio, hot tub, fire pit, very easy to follow. And then across the board on that preliminary budget, each particular project may have 1, 2, or even 3 in some cases costs. And the reason that is because a fire pit, depending on what material it's made out of, can be a different price. So you might have a patio that's made out of pavers, be in the lower range, or if you want to go ahead and do maybe wet laid bluestone with some granite details, there's going to be a higher cost associated with that. So we put that into a very easy to follow format called a preliminary budget.
Right. And what this allows the client to do is begin shop a little bit with their project.
Yeah.
And we don't sacrifice the design. I think that's critical. We can have a sidewalk coming from the driveway to a garage area or something like that can be gravel. It doesn't need to be wet laid bluestone. And by making that sidewalk gravel, we've saved a tremendous amount of cost, and we haven't sacrificed any design.
Sure.
And that's what's so critical about this.
Yeah.
And we put the power in our clients' hands.
We do, and we definitely do. And I'll tell you, the one thing that I find out in the world when I'm meeting with my clients, more often than not, they tell me that what this does is it doesn't lock them into one price and make them feel like they have to spend a certain amount of money. So it gives them options. It makes the process a little bit more organic. Takes a little bit more time to go through this process, but when you're investing that much money in your property and you're going to be spending these dollars and you're not going to do things over again, you want to make sure you get it right the first time. So going through the preliminary design process and the preliminary budgeting process gives a lot of flexibility, and it makes sure that we figure out what they can afford, our clients, and what they want to spend.
Yeah. So many times we come across a client that has come to us after working with someone else, and their dreams have been crushed, literally, because this designer went into a box. I say box or a room, or I always picture this dark room with this designer in there, creating this masterpiece, only one design, of course, and then they unveil this masterpiece to their client. The client is somewhat thrilled, kind of perplexed in how they arrived at what they arrived at, but then they go to price it, and it's astronomical. It can't be achieved. It's not physically possible to be achieved, and in some cases, the client's shattered.
Yeah,
their dreams are just crumbled onto the floor.
And to go, and that's, I've seen it. It's ugly. But to expound on that is that when they see only one hard line number at the bottom, it's very daunting.
That's right.
When they can break the project apart and look at different things and maybe phase some projects out in the future and they see it broken down like that, it's much easier to work through.
And you can have the project of your dreams if you do phase it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you could start in the front, the side, the back, what have you,
Mhm.
and do it over a decade and not sacrifice one thing of your project.
And if you want to do the project in one shot, the preliminary budget also lets you, again, like you said, if instead of having it be a paver driveway, maybe they can do a gravel. So having the flexibility to look at the numbers broken down lets them budget the project appropriately.
That's right. It's a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Okay, Mike.